Y'all are like, and here we go. Good morning, everybody. Hi, it's Becky from Power Tools with Thread, and you are here in the Stitchuation room. This is a virtual quilt retreat where we just gather with like-minded souls and we chat in the chat over here on the live, which is a lot of fun. So much support and good thoughts over there today. That's really nice, you guys. I appreciate that so much. I need to turn the camera. I've got to find another place for my Stitchuation room sign. I kind of think I want it over here. I made this on my embroidery machine. I made that on my embroidery machine, and I want it where it can be seen. But if you've been here a minute, you might know, and that's a turn of phrase for those of you that are new. The rack, there's an empty space right here. Right there, there's an empty space. That used to hold the rack that held all of my long arm rulers. Well, that's because Mr. Jason, the guy who makes my long arm rulers, I don't want this to fall because it's got glass on it. We'll just put this here for today. That's fine. It's got my light in the middle of it. We'll work it out. Anyway, he came by and I asked him for some. Oh, you guys, we don't do hashtag Power Tools on these lives. So there's no giveaway in our Stitchuation room in our morning chats. So, oh, thanks. Yes, Kay. Hit record. Thank you. Woo, I need y'all in my life. It's so early, you guys. It's, just after 7. I haven't been up that long. But Diane had a girls' night out. I was wondering where you were, Diane. She's down in Australia. Diane, don't let her. She's a little bit older than I am, I guess, and she still can hang with the big dogs. Yeah. You were watching the wrong date. Yeah, too early. I know. I try to change up the thumbnails every day. That's fun. Anyway, so Jason came by and he brought me 12 more of the rulers, the long arm binding rulers for the 2.5-inch wide binding strips. And I was like, well, hey, can you make a ruler rack? Because this ruler rack here, now my husband made this one for me, and my son makes the ones that are on our store site, powertoolswiththreadstore.com. But so this one my husband made years and years ago, and now my son makes them. And so, but these hold your quilting rulers that you use for cutting and trimming. Okay. That's the size slot that's in this ruler rack. That other ruler rack was made by somebody who just got a laser cutter, and he wasn't real sure. I told him what he needed. He was trying to get into the world of laser cutting and didn't do a very good job, but it did the job. So it's been hanging on my wall, and it holds most of my rulers. The big problem with that ruler rack was, y'all might have noticed, I had a little bag. This is from Creative Notions Quilt Shop, and it held all of my little bitty, the smaller rulers. I've got dinky, some little. I've got this, this is a 2-inch circle. So if you're, these little bitty ones, well, they're not going to fit in those rack slots. So he was going to fashion a tray to the bottom of it so that it would hold the little ones. So he took my rack to use, not as a template, but, to start engineering. This guy's brilliant. He makes some parts for those hobby airplanes. He's an engineer. His brain just works like that. It's amazing. So Well, congratulations. Ah, Chris. Look at this, y'all. Finally down a whole size. So pay no attention as she face plants into the 0-calorie pastries. Congratulations, Chris. That is fabulous. Good for you. I know how hard that is, girlfriend. I know how hard that is. I got so much to talk to you guys about today. So the doctor's visit went well yesterday. I had a little appointment. It's just my annual. And everything went great. They took some blood. I'm going back next week for a results read, but I'm pretty sure everything will be fine. Healthy as the proverbial horse, right? So I had some things I wanted to share with you guys today. Yesterday, Evelyn Moore, I haven't seen her here yet this morning. She was on yesterday. And I had shown you guys that Autumn Waltz panel. This thing is so popular with you guys, this Autumn Waltz. Okay. And I had shown it from Villa Rosa Designs, and it's all over the interwebs. You can find it in various places. Well, she popped on that there was a free pattern at Bear Creek Designs. And I went and looked at it. And what Bear Creek Designs does, they sell fabric online and whatnot. But this is a real good tip for those of you that are brand new to quilting. I'm looking for mine. I had a book that I had written her info in, and I wonder if I walked away and set it down somewhere. Anyway, oh, it's right here. Good grief. If it was a snake, it would have bit me, right? Yeah, so she's Bear Creek Free Patterns for Autumn Waltz, Evelyn Moore. I just made a note. She had said it in the chat. So anyway, if you're brand new to quilting, so this, you want to look on the selvage, and this says Marcus Fabrics Autumn Waltz Material Girlfriends. So Marcus Fabrics is the manufacturer, okay? And then Material Girlfriends is the designer. That's who created it. And then the pattern name is Autumn Waltz, and it's got a number. So you'll get this kind of thing. This is usually true of panels. Okay. So if you go to, let me share my screen with you guys. And I want to, let's see, I'm going to share screen, and yes. So let me share. Okay. So what you get is, if this is Bear Creek Quilting Company's shop. Okay. And it says, it has a picture of it, and it says, enjoy the following free pattern available to download courtesy of the fabric manufacturer. So they've told you where they got the pattern. Well, let me go back over here, and I want to stop sharing this one. So you can get it from them, or you can go to, if they don't have something like that, you can, is that the right? This is the one I want right here. So you can go, yes. All right. I want to make sure you can see what I see. You can go to the fabric designer's website, the manufacturer's website. So marcusfabrics.com. And then they have a category on here called Make It. And I click that. But in the search box, I typed Autumn Waltz. And here you go. So you have to be a vendor in order to be able to purchase. But they will put the patterns, the free patterns, on their website. So you can download the free project. Isn't that great? I love this. So it's got a bunch of, let me see if I click it and we get it up a little larger. I want to make sure you can see the large version that I'm looking at. Yes. Okay. So it's got pinwheels that mirror the pinwheels that are inside of the panel. Isn't that pretty? And it's got some maple leaves in various colors. This is a pretty good, this will take you a minute to finish, right? And then we've got some pumpkins along the bottom. That's just adorable. And you can download the thing for free. And most fabric designers will do that. Most of them will have free patterns, usually for their panels, is what they do. What if you're not a vendor and just a customer who enjoys buying, Carol says? Well, you have to check with your local quilt shop or find a quilt shop online that sells online. But the best way to find these, if you want to find the panel, is if I'm highlighting it, I've got a link below my video in the description box. If you're on a phone or tablet, you just click more, and then it opens up, and I usually put a list of all the featured items that I'm talking about. So that tells you where to get it. But let me move these now that I've talked about them to get them out of the way. So I bought a bundle of the whole line that was available to me on the website that I bought it from, which was Villa Rosa Designs. So another way you can find what you're looking for, okay, is to just Google Autumn Waltz fabric panel. Just Google it. And when it comes up, click on images. And so when you type in Autumn Waltz, you'll get all of the supporting fabrics, okay? And they may not have the panel, but if you click on images, you can kind of go down and click on those images and jump to their website and see if they have it. So that's a good way to do that too. That's how I search things on the web. I went to librarian school. They taught me how to search. What did I do with my coffee? Oh my goodness. Oh, Melanie. Bless your heart, Melanie. Okay, if anybody's industrious entrepreneur and you want to start a quilt shop in Southern Cal, they need you, all right? She's in a quilt shop desert. Bless your heart. Well, thank goodness for the internet, right? Yeah. Is that coffee on my sewing machine? Heck yeah, girl. Don't bump it. You betcha. When we were in Baton Rouge, when I was doing demos at Bayou University at All-Brands, we got a print Moda, and print Moda is the new machine. It's a printer that prints fabric. It's from Brother. And we brought it home, and it's been sitting here now for 2 weeks. Well, Kim, I'm looking at Kim Martin's name. Keith got into it last night, and he started playing with it. And he downloaded Art Spira. Keith is my husband. And he started playing with Art Spira and printing stuff out. And I got to show you. So the first thing he does is he pops in. He's all proud. He's like a little kid. He's all proud. He pops in. He's like, look at what I made. Look what I made. So cute. He made, can I bring it over here? Did I bring it over here? I didn't bring it over here. Oh, here it is. First thing he did is he popped in and he made this. So this is a photo off of his phone when we went to Key West. Isn't that adorable? So this is on fabric. And I wanted to print some pictures of him, he and I, and he says it prints really fast. I was working here in my office over at my my desk. It's my office, sewing room, all in one. So you get a roll, a smaller roll of, fabric with it. And then we also got a bigger roll, but it's got like a plastic on the back, and you can just peel that off. But the goal was for me to sew this onto a tote bag. So look at that. You can pull that off. I'm just tickled. I haven't played with this yet. Let me throw this away. So there. So he printed that. And I had wanted to have this picture printed off. This is my favorite picture of Keith and I. That is one of my favorite photos of me and my husband. Okay. And so he printed this one out. So now I've got these two, and I guess I'll figure out, maybe I could just frame them. I don't know, but it's pretty neat. This is totally unretouched, y'all. We were hanging out at the barbecue grill. And that was Memorial Day. My quilty buddy Lisa took this picture. They were here visiting. But then one of the ladies that pops in here, Katie, she has a print moda. And she showed me this one she made. This is a template that is inside. And look at this. So then Keith printed this out. So he put our picture in here. This is my first shark I ever caught down in Port O'Connor. And then he put the next picture of the one in Key West. And then he left the template photo in there. He goes, I didn't have another picture. Isn't that nice? But this is fabric. And the cool thing is you can take, like if you run out of fabric, you can take a picture of your fabric and it would print it out, which is pretty neat. It's a little expensive way to go to print fabric. But one of the brother educators was showing me what she's been doing with her print moda, and it was just amazing. So if you have an opportunity, you know what? If you are in the market for a new machine and you go to a brother dealer, you might be able to get them to, include one with the deal, depending on the model that you're buying. So that's pretty neat. Sometimes they'll toss in a print moda. Sometimes they'll toss in a scan and cut. You never know. So, Cindy said one of the many shows she watched said print moda cannot be used for garments. I would not think that the ink is color fast for like Tide Pods. So I could understand that. Yeah. Constance says she's been watching everything she can to find on the Dream Machine. You're asking for a Stella 2 combo. Yeah. Okay. So Constance, probably go by Connie, if I may be so familiar. I did one of my earliest videos I did on doing an embroidery design, and there's the free embroidery design for it below the video. And excuse me, the design was from Millie Scott, the company that makes those vertical end-to-end, edge-to-edge quilting for your embroidery machine. I have a Quattro, the old Brother Quattro, and I put the 2 upgrades in it, and it thinks it's a Dream Machine. So now it has the camera and all of that. And it's called it's a quilted Trapunto table runner. And it was a free pattern, a free downloadable embroidery design that was in the old Dime magazine, Designs and Machine Embroidery magazine, when they used to publish that. So that's one of the things that got me into doing this channel, was doing a video on how to do this. And so I really get into the camera and using the camera to move things around. So it thinks it's a Dream Machine. If you've never played with that. Katie wants to know if Keith's going to give lessons on the print moda. Katie, I think right now you probably know more about the print moda than Keith, but he is intrigued and he's starting to play with it. And I told him last night he was going to have to do lessons on that. But anyway, so, and it's not just for the Quattro or the Dream Machine, any of these machines that have a camera, that video, and you get a beautiful table runner out of it. I have it down at the coast right now. But, oh, Emily wants to know my thoughts on the best long arm machine. Emily, buy the most machine you can afford. Get one with a dealer nearby if you have one. As you know, I have the Grace Knique 21X Elite. It's a great little machine. My friend Lisa quilted on it. She did some free motion on it. She says and I probably didn't have it set right. I don't know. She has an APQS, so she prefers her machine to mine. That's normal. I drove an APQS at the quilt show last Sunday, and I really didn't notice a difference. But I'm pretty happy with the Knique. The reason I like the Kanique is because the frame, the carriage, and the machine, all one stop, and as far as purchase, because it all comes from Grace, including the robotics, everything comes from Grace. So that to me was the best deal. And then their customer service is top notch. They always get back to you. You can call, leave a voicemail, and within 24 hours, you get a call from them. And they don't charge you for that. So that's important. Jude says she has a Grace Kanique 21. She loves it. Yeah. So you guys, I cannot give an opinion on the best long arm. I can tell you that I enjoy my long arm. It's working fabulously. Okay, so there's that. But buy the most machine you can afford, where the customer service is prompt and no charge for customer service. If a company charges you for customer service, that's not a good company. That's just me. Not a good company to go with. Yeah. So anyway, Mona, I love your little handle there. Mona did what? That's hilarious. Okay. I got, I was watching Pat Sloan yesterday, and she was showing how she was putting up Lisa the Unicorn. And I actually captured, because someone mailed this critter block into her. And I love the rainbow of fabrics used in the mane on the unicorn. So I captured that on YouTube and I printed it out because I've got the pattern. I get frozen when it comes time to pick colors. So that is the hardest thing for me, is to pick colors. Hi, Patricia. She finally made a live. Welcome. Glad you're here. We're just chatting about quilting. But I get frozen when it comes time to pick colors. And I just love whoever made this unicorn. I just love the color choices that she had. So I am going to jump into my stash and find the ones I need. So a lot of times I'll do that. And if you're like me and you get stuck, when you find something you like, I kind of make it. So I will fold this up and put it in with the pattern. This is a Lisa Hartman. Is that right? Hartman. Lisa, is it Lisa Hartman? You guys help me out. Pretty close. Hartman. Elizabeth Hartman. That's it. Elizabeth Hartman. Yeah, color choices are the worst for me. I can pick thread colors easier because I can match thread colors to fabric, right? But choosing the fabric, oh, I'm so afraid I'm going to get it wrong. And then it'll be, oh, pick some sparkle, Kathy says. That's a good idea. Yeah, Elizabeth, gotcha, Lynn. Where have you been? You were gone for a week. We missed you. So I got an email last night, you guys. This literally brought tears. This is from Darlene, and I want to tell you what she said. I'm going to read it here. She says, Becky, I really enjoy watching your Stitchuation room chats. I usually watch the replays in the afternoon while I am sewing. I am a long-time beginner quilter. Your technique for making the half square triangles has been very helpful. It's not my technique. I use from somebody else because I can't come up with that on my own, but thank you. Okay. I also wanted to thank you for encouraging women to get their mammograms. I was diagnosed with stage 1 breast cancer about a year ago through a routine exam. I will finish my treatment in January. Well, praise Jesus, Darlene. It's the hardest thing I've been through. Thankful I've had sewing to take my mind off of it. Thanks to the early detection, I have many years of sewing ahead of me. Thanks again, Darlene. You never know when a passing comment or somebody saying something on a YouTube video will change your life, right? And it's not because I said it. This is long before I mentioned this, but it is National Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Ladies, please get your mammograms. Get one scheduled, even if you can't get it this month, but please get one scheduled. If you haven't had one in 12 months, do it. So yes, I passed it on. Evelyn, I was talking about you earlier. Were your ears burning? I was talking about how you said that the Bear Creek Designs has the free patterns for Autumn Waltz. So anyway, yeah. Oh, you were on vacation, Lynn. Okay, well, I'm glad you're back and I'm glad you had a great time. Good, good. So today on my calendar, I know Lynn, I know Pat Sloan, I've got Lynn. You guys, my brain, it's early. We've got to leave at 9 to go to the attorney and finalize our trust. Yay. Get that done, finally. It has been years in the works, a long time coming, been talking about it forever. And all that happened during that time was the cost of the attorney went up and up and up. Dang it. But we finalize it today. The attorney said, don't die before you finalize this trust. Otherwise, it is null and void. Yeah. Okay. So on my calendar is quite different from Pat Sloan's. So I've got one of these daily calendars, and I write in the top part of it what I need to do in the morning, and in the bottom part of the day what I need to do in the afternoon. So today my afternoon is Spooky House 3 and to finish up Molly's quilt. So when I've got embroidery like that going on, because I have a multi-needle, so I can start Spooky House 3, which takes over an hour to stitch out on the multi-needle, which means it's a good 2-hour stitch out on you single needle girls. So I should say single needle users to be all inclusive. My apologies for you gentlemen who are watching. So I can get Spanky, my 10 needle, going, and he'll be doing his thing. And then I can pop over to the long arm and do Molly's quilt. And I multitask like that, and it makes me so happy. Oh, Deborah's got to go to work. Bye, hon. Have a great day. So the Wonky Houses quilt. This is a pattern from Fabric Confetti, and the designer is Bruce Allen Designs. You guys are y'all are chatting up a storm. I love that. I think that's wonderful. So here we go. This is the wall hanging right here. I got my little rack that came yesterday. I got that. That's all right. Hi, Daryl. Welcome. Glad you're here. Okay. The Lego sewing machine kit shows up on Amazon. Julianne says, yeah, I got it. Oh, this? Yeah. This one, this Lego sewing machine, this is actually from my girlfriend's quilt shop. So anyway, I was showing this last week while you were on vacation, Lynn. So these are embroidery designs. Okay. So there's this house 1, house 2, and here's house 3. House 3 needs done. So here's house 1. Okay. I've got a link to these below in the description box. There's house 1. Hi, Diane. Welcome. You made the live. Yay. Here's house 2. I am adoring this olive drab thread color choice. I just love it. So this is house 2. That's actually 2 different color purple fabrics on between this one in the middle and these side pieces, different color. But I've used the same roof to coordinate all of them on these 2. And then house 3, I need to pick the fabrics. It's kind of like a yellow. See that? Told you guys I can't pick fabrics. I am going to, good morning, Kim. I'm going to choose something out of my stash that is very much like this. It looks like a light yellow, a lighter yellow sort of, and then a blue. And then and if you don't want to do a wall hanging inside, it shows you can do a little table runner. Isn't that nice? So I have my fabric. This is just a blender. It's a quilting cotton. And I've got it backed with SF101. Whenever you're going to be embroidering and you are going to be doing heavy satin fill stitches. So if you're new to embroidery, see how the ghost is a satin fill? Okay. The chimney, the moon, the bat. Now the roofs have a satin stitching outline, but like this porch, the foundation for the house and the steps, that's all a heavy satin fill. Anytime you do that, you want to seriously stabilize your background fabric. You don't need to do that in blocks like this, where you're going to be doing blanket stitches on it. Okay. This was done by an embroidery machine. This is Lori Holt's B Vintage. So you don't have to put SF101 on the back of quilting cottons. Your basic, I use a no-show mesh cutaway stabilizer in mine. That's fine. That'll work fine. You just have to kind of understand that embroidery, those fill stitches pull and tug and pull in. And so your blocks, you look to the sides, got a little bit of a wave to it, but it's okay. All right. So my dog is barking outside. I'm sorry. Keith they usually come in through the front door and there's more racket than you can imagine. So he gets her to go around back and she's old and she goes, no, we need to come in the front door. You hear Frito. That's not Frito. That's Harley. Yeah. Yeah. Julianne, you were late and somebody else had to remind me to hit record. We almost went black. So I wanted to show you guys what I'm doing. This thing is I have the CD that I bought in the store, but they have the, it's a digital download you can do. Now these patterns come with, of course, the embroidery design is on it, but it also comes with SVG files so you can cut out your fabrics ahead of time. And if you don't have a cutting machine, it comes with PDFs. So you can print out the PDF and you would use it just like a regular applique. You would put it on a light box or up on a window and trace around it to make your shapes on the back of some heat and bond light, right? But I want to show you that part of the magic of what I do to get my fabrics cut. So Julianne, she says, I'll try to do better. You're all right, sweetheart. I'm kidding. So Cindy wants to know, when I use no-show mesh, do I keep it and sew it in with the full block? And when I'm putting my blocks together, or do I trim it away? Great question. So it's hot back here. I'm breaking into a sweat, y'all. Let me pull this one down too. I'll do a trim around. Can you see the no-show mesh? I've trimmed it around. You can trim it really close if you want. Now this one, I just trimmed it around here. I will generally trim it out before I sew the blocks in the seam allowances. I don't want it in the seam allowance. It really doesn't change the hand of your block at all. I mean, maybe a tiny bit. Yeah, thank you, Katie. If you guys would be so kind, hit the thumbs up if you're on a phone or a tablet, please. It's right below the video on YouTube. Or if you're on your TV, hit the up arrow. Melanie is trading her Juki for an embroidery machine. Melanie, make sure you get at least a 6x10 hoop, at least a 6x10, and it needs to take a USB, okay? Don't get a 4x4 or a 5x7. You'll outgrow it in about 5 minutes, and you'll be so disappointed, and you're going to have to go back. All right. So I wanted to show you guys, I put the CD in. Do you guys want to see how I do this? So, well, I'm going to show you anyway. It's my video. So I use quilting cottons and I put heat and bond light on the back of them. But yeah, this is great advice Paula has. Buy the most you can afford, go to the shop and ask them to try one out, see how much you like it. You bought it, there you go. She bought a 5x7 and immediately went and bought the 9x14. You will once you get this and you go, oh my goodness, you know, and you guys, a lot of dealers will offer that 0% financing through Synchrony. Jump on that. That's free money. Divide it up by month in your head and figure out, 3 years, 5 years, however much. It's not that much. If you can afford it, jump on it. Don't limit yourself. You will outgrow your machines. There are so many beautiful, beautiful designs. Oh, and somebody had mentioned to me that they wanted to make the wonky houses, what I'm doing, but they only had a 6x10 hoop. Well, this comes. So this is the large house. And also on the CD are the medium houses, and the medium houses fit in a 6x10. I checked it out in Embrilliance and it works. So you can make this adorable design if you have a 6x10 hoop. So that's cool. Yeah. So Shirley wants to know, what about SF101 instead of heat and bond? So the reason you put heat and bond on the back of your applique fabrics is you can iron it on to your background fabric. So heat and bond is a dual adhesive. You iron it onto the back of the quilting cotton of your applique piece, and then you peel the paper away, and now you have another adhesive part on the back that you can put onto your background fabric and iron that down, and it stays where you want it. And then the embroidery machine goes around and does its thing. So I wanted to pull up Brother Canvas workspace and just quickly show you guys. I'm logging into canvasworkspace.brother.com. But I'm going to share my screen with you guys and show you how easy it is. So I want to get, I wonder if I can do this off the CD. Okay, I'm going to go to Canvas Workspace and share. All right, this is what I do, you guys, to cut. This is to pre-cut my fabric pieces. Okay, so I'm going to log in. This is canvasworkspace.brother.com. You do not have to have a Brother machine in order to be able to do this. That's very embroidery machine. You can get a scan and cut if you've got a Husqvarna or a Vernia or whatever. The machines, just because it's made, the cutting machine is made by Brother, it doesn't matter. It doesn't, I mean, you've got to have like the Luminaire or the Stellaire or something like that for the cutting machine to talk to the embroidery machine, but you don't have to do that. You don't have to. So you can do it with a Janome embroidery machine, whatever. So I'm going to log in here and show you guys what I've been doing. Let me see. I'm going to go to my projects and see. So here's the wonky houses that I did. Here's house 2, and here's house 1 whenever it decides to pop up. There it is. Isn't that cool? So I want to make house 3, and I'm going to go and just click new. And then come on up. Yeah, my internet's working. Right here, there's a button that says SVG. I'm going to click that and then choose file. And I want to go to my wonky houses. So here's all your instructions. Here's your templates and your cutting files. I don't think you guys can see this because I've jumped to a new window. Is that right? Let me see something. I want to make sure I'm showing you guys. I'm going to hit cancel. I just don't know if you can. I didn't know if you were able to see that. Okay. So if you cannot see it, please bear with me. I'm going to drag in the SVG file off of the CD. Okay. So I'm going to hit SVG, and then I don't, because sometimes when windows pop up on top of other windows, the StreamYard doesn't bring it up. So it has mirrored files and non-mirrored files. And since I'm going, let's see, house 3, non-mirrored 1, I'm going to open. So since I'm cutting pretty side up on the fabric, it says some shapes cannot be converted. I got a little error thing. So there we go. Let me make sure you can see what I see. Yes. So there you go. Oh, you can see it. Okay, great. So, hi, Beatrice. You're not late, but what I'm doing is I'm getting ready to stitch out the 3rd house from Wonky Houses and on my embroidery machine. Okay. So let me get back over here. Now what I do is I will just click on the box and hit delete on my keyboard. And this is the big tall blue roof. So this needs a piece of blue fabric. I'm going to put that over here. I'm going to turn it sideways and just put it like right there. And I want to have enough margin all the way around. Okay. And then that blue piece is all on its own. These are windows right here. I'm going to click that and hit delete. And I'm going to highlight all of my windows. And I'm going to right click and group. And I want to bring those over here. And when I group them, I can see down here in the bottom, these are 3.29 by 3.39. So I add up to the nearest ½ inch and then add an inch. And that gives me enough of a margin around the shape of fabric so that it'll grip to the mat. So nearest ½ inch is 3.5 plus 1. So I would make this 4.5 by 4.5. That's how big that would be. And then it looks like this is the door. So I'm going to highlight that and hit delete. I'm going to put my door maybe right here. This is the front. This is the big front of the house. Hit delete. And then this is the round part. Oh, this is the moon. That's the only round part I see. I don't see a round window. Usually I thought that moon might have been embroidered, but it looks like it's applique. Hit delete on that and put this down here. So now, again, I will round up to the nearest ½ inch. I would use a 2.5 inch square to put right here and just put my fabrics on there. And then you guys, it's as simple as hitting the download button like this and download to scan and cut transfer. Right, like that. And that's it. And it's ready to go. So I take those measurements and cut out the fabric that I want, put heat and bond light on the back of those fabrics, and then put them onto my cutting mat. Pull that up, you guys, and just boom. Kim is having some issues bringing your file into Embrilliance. Are you doing the drag and drop or the file open? I like the drag and drop. So this is just a great way. You don't even have, you could still sew this on if you wanted to. But even so I'm cutting the fabrics for an embroidery design, but you could do the exact same thing for a quilt pattern. All right. If you don't have an embroidery machine and you're doing all of those leaves, like on you insane people that do those Judy Niemeyer quilts, right? You can put a large piece of fabric on like a 24-inch mat instead of the 12-inch. Oh, Frito's coming in. Is she going to come up? Oh, I must have dropped a crumb or something under my desk last night. That's the first place she stops to clean up anything that I dropped. She's so good. Good morning, Frito. Hi, baby girl. Hello, love. What are you doing? Good girl. Yes, good girl. So if you're making an applique quilt, consider getting a scan and cut, because the coolest thing about that, Ellen wants to know if I put the fabric on the mat face up or face down. I put it face up, paper peeled off, and it's on the low tack mat. You got to really put that heat and bond light on that fabric real good. But I do the low tack mat, which is aqua. You named people yesterday to watch on YouTube. Can I name them again, please? I think I was talking about decluttering. Was I talking about that? That would be Dana K. White from A Slob Comes Clean. I like her. She's good. All right, Shirley, time to walk. Have a good time. Be safe. So if you do by hand, will you also add a 1/4 inch? Yeah, you can add a 1/4 inch on the scan and cut. It will actually give you a seam allowance of a 1/4 inch if you tell it to on all those pieces once you get it at the machine. And it will draw the line if you want, which is cool. But the scan and cut is going to cut those pieces out for you, and then you can sew them on by machine if you don't have an embroidery machine. But still, you're not having to cut with the scissors, all of that. Crazy. It's fabulous. Yeah, it's really, really, it changes your world, and it gives you so much more time back in your life. It really does. Roxanne says she's sitting on her porch listening and watching the show too. Run by. How fun is that? Is somebody running by? So funny. So when I get done here this morning, I've got to go drag some fabrics out of my stash for that house, put some heat and bond light on, get them cut, heat and bond light on the back. Yeah, Evelyn, it is help for your old hands. It absolutely is. It's great. Now that's if the design is digital. If you've got a paper pattern, you can put a paper pattern on a scanning mat or also the low tech mat. Don't put paper on that purple or gold mat. You'll be sorry. Yes, I do cut the fabric before I satin stitch, Teresa. I sure do. I cut all my fabrics beforehand. Yeah. You're multitaskers. Can't sew and keep up. Yeah, that was Brother Canvas. You don't have to have a Brother sewing machine in order to use that. It is perfectly free to use. And you can download SVGs. You can upload cut files in there. You can scan in a paper applique embroidery, a sewing pattern, a regular applique quilting pattern. Scan it in and it'll get the lines. Now, if it gives you a bunch of layers because it sees, the Scan and Cut sees like all the layers that make up the commercial layering process. But it will, I like to trace my patterns anyway using a Crayola marker on printer paper. I get a much cleaner, crisp line. But then I scan that paper in and pull it into Brother Canvas. I pull out the parts I want off the mat, and then I highlight the whole mat, get rid of all the little noise or whatever might have been left on there. If it sees the edge of the paper or whatever, then bring everything back on, download it to the Scan and Cut, put my fabrics on a mat, cut, boom, done. And I have a load of videos on YouTube. I have a playlist called Scan and Cut. Please check out those videos. I used to cut with my fabric pretty side down, face down, paper up on a purple mat. But you got to remember to mirror. So, yeah, it's awesome. It is a wonderful way to do business. Oh, you guys, and I just... Free Spirit says the Scan and Cut has a library of built-in quilt pieces too. They do. I've never used it, but yes, they do. Yeah. Julianne has the SDX 325. That's what I'm cutting on too. I love it. It's great. So I just restuck my low tack mat with Zig. Fabulous. I love how it turned out. It's better than the original. Yeah, that's that glue, Zig, Z-I-G. And it's blue all over the mat and it dries totally clear and it works phenomenal. I mean, just phenomenally. It's early. Zig, yes. It's on Amazon. I might have a link to it below, but it's in my Amazon store too. Yeah. Oh, you guys talking about the sew and sail cruises. Those are going to be fun. You'll be binge watching, Constance. Like I said before, I'm here to blur the lines between embroidery and machine embroidery and quilting, and they are beginning to do that in our industry. And it is just so exciting. And it just opens up a whole new world. If you want to embroider on a sunbonnet Sue, kind of thing, versus having to stitch, stitch, stop, turn, stitch, stop. And it's great. And if you've got a combo machine, I've got beginner embroidery videos on how to do that. So I wanted to show you guys. So like back here, this is part of Lori Holt's Garden Girl. Still working on that, Emily. It's still in the queue. As a matter of fact, Emily, I know you're watching. I've got Garden Girl blocks. I have one on the 18th right there. And I've got one on the 24th. So it is worked into the schedule. I'm going to finish that quilt. It's the editing of the video. That's the hard part. So these are all my star blocks for that quilt. I need to get the brown circle sewn on that too. That's another thing, you guys. There are 23 in Garden Girl. There are 23 of these blocks in that quilt. Okay, 23 of them. And every one of them has, in the middle, I made one somewhere. I made one somewhere. I'm getting up here and looking at this. I finished one correctly to show you guys. Here it is. You want to talk about getting good at points? Make these 23 star blocks. Every one of these has this circle that is appliqued around the center of the star block. All right. So what I did was I traced around the simple shape from Lori Holt. And remember the 11th commandment, thou shalt not share. That's the 11th commandment of our quilt world. Thou shalt not share. Anyway, so I traced around the simple shape on paper. Okay. And then I scanned it into the scan and cut and it made the shape. And then I popped it into Embroidery Stitch Artist 2 and turned it into a machine embroidery design. So here's the back. See that? Now I have a machine, I have an embroidery machine that has a camera in it. So all I got to do on all 23 of these. Okay. I've got loads of these things, you guys. They're everywhere. I have this handful here and there's two more handfuls, one right here and one right there. And there's more of them up there. They're stacked in and held with pins. Okay. And so all I have to do is find center of the block and crosshair it. And then the embroidery machine is going to create the placement line. And then I'm going to iron down the brown circle. And all my brown circles are cut. I think I cut them all. I took a whole thing of brown fabric, a big piece of brown fabric, put it on the 24-inch mat and told it to cut out 24 of these circles. I think I got 12 at a time. Y'all work smarter, not harder. Yeah. Do I have all of those done? I thought I had cut them. I thought I had cut them already. I don't know. Yeah. Let me see. So these are all my fabrics still yet for Garden Girl in my little bin. And I was pretty sure I had already done that. And here are the simple shapes I was talking about. You have to buy the simple shapes in order to make the quilt. So you get these pieces, okay? You got to do that. And then there are my simple shapes all traced. And so that's ready to go. Let me see. I've got, here's Garden Girl's head. And that is two different fabrics. That was a challenge to figure that out. So on some of her pieces, she wants you to sew them together. So I did. See, they're sewn together. I put heat and bond light on the back. There's her head. Yep. Oh, interesting, Shar. Thank you. That's a good point. I like that. Don't use Totally Awesome to defuzz your zig. It totally dissolves it. Stuck a mat with dissolve zig. Okay, good to know. Thank you. Yeah, I only use Totally Awesome on mats that don't have zig, but I didn't think about that. So thank you for sharing that, Shar. I appreciate it. Yeah. Yep, here they are. Here they are. Here's all of my circles cut. And they're in different fabrics too, because she used different fabrics on her quilt. Yeah, I just let the cutting machine cut them all out. And you want to use the Brother Scan and Cut. You can use a Cricut or a Silhouette. You absolutely can if you're savvy with it, please. But I like the Scan and Cut because I can put fabric on the mat and scan it, uncut fabric on the mat, scan it in, and then the pattern that I sent down from Brother Canvas, I can exactly place it on that fabric so that it's not going to, miss it. It's not going to cut off of the fabric. It's fabulous. Very, very good way to do business. Yeah. So Priscilla has the 23 blocks finished for Calico Garden, not the embroidery blocks though. Good. You put Garden Girl together yesterday. Good for you. That's great. Yep. So a cutting machine will change your world. So start with that. If you're brand new to this process, start with the cutting machine first to cut out your applique pieces and then sew those on with the sewing machine until you get completely fed up with that, and then jump into figuring out how to do it with an embroidery machine. And again, I have a load of videos on my channel showing you how to do that, baby step by baby step. What buttons to push on the machine. I've got a scan and cut playlist. I've got an Embrilliance playlist. I show how to do digitizing and all of that. Okay. Here, this is a great question. I know you have the Luminaire. Did you compare and consider the Solaris? And if so, why did you choose the Luminaire? It was several $1,000s cheaper. That's why. Several $1,000s cheaper. Not 500 bucks. You know what I mean? And I love my Luminaire. I'm thrilled with it. I've had it now for, I don't know how many years. 4, maybe. I've upgraded it to the XP3. Yep, I love it. So Vicky says you can put different fabrics on a Cricut and snap a pick, and then Cricut will cut different fabrics out at one time as well. Yep. There is something in the Cricut cloud that changes the size on things it sees. So really check that. The scan and cut does not do that. Whatever it sees when it scans in, that's the size it cuts. I am told repeatedly, people tell me this all the time. Not one person, not 2 people, dozens of people have told me that Cricut Cloud changes the size of whatever. So double check and make sure. Okay. Do I service it regularly? My Luminaire has been serviced twice. Yeah, I've only serviced it twice. And Donna says, which scan and cut do I have? I have the SDX 325. You guys, if you go to my blog, powertoolswiththread.com, I have a blog post on there, and you can do a search, and just in the search box, type in the word buy, B-U-Y. That's the easiest way to find it. But the blog post is, which scan and cut should I buy? All right. And I go in easy English. I don't get too technical, but I go through there and give you my 2 cents worth of what scan and cut you should get. So whose pattern did you say you added a little bit to add the size? Kimberbell. Yes, Tammy. Kimberbell Embroidery Designs. I do a +2 on their SVG files. Test it. That's what your scrap basket is for. And then you can't find the glue on my page on Amazon. Let me fix that, Ellen. Let me fix that. I'll just do that right here. Let me see. I was talking to you guys about something and I did a squirrel. Okay. Jamie wants to know, is there any cutting machine compatible with a Bernina? Jamie, yes, get a scan and cut. It works perfectly with a Bernina because it doesn't work with the machine. It's going to cut your fabric. Okay. It's going to cut your fabric, whatever fabric you want it to cut. And then you can take that fabric and you can sew it on with your Bernina machine. Now, I turn those cut designs, those cutting files, I turn those into an embroidery design using a piece of software called Embroidery Stitch Artist 2. That saves to the Bernina format for the embroidery machine. So yes. About how much is the scan and cut that y'all talk about? So Barbara, the scan and cut runs anywhere from $300 for the smallest one, up to $1,200 for the big dog, or $1,000 or something like that. If you buy one with Disney designs in it, it's going to be more expensive than one without. Okay. So if you buy a new machine, your dealer might, toss one in, you never know, or give you a deal on one, depending on how successful the dealer is. I don't know anything about cutting with a Cricut. I've never owned one. All right, let me do this here. I need to put this glue into, I need to type in Zoom. The glue pen. Yeah, there we go. All right. Let me pull it up. There it is. Okay. I've got 2 of them, and I need to add to list. And let me see. I'm going to put the glue cut. Okay. The zig is now in my scan and cut favorites on my Amazon store, you guys. Thank you for letting me know. Hi, Joan. Good morning. So Cindy has the 230DX scan and cut, but can't send the file to the Stellaire but the USB. Right. So the 230, the only scan and cuts that actually talk to a brother machine, the Stellaire and the Luminaire, are the 325 and the 330D, which those 2 machines are identical, but the 330D has Disney designs. So if you've got the 230 or lower number, it does not have the My Connection feature on it. And I don't think they're going to upgrade that machine, but USB. Or I upload it to Brother Canvas, okay, and then send it directly to the machine from Brother Canvas, because that machine is wireless. So you can still do it wirelessly, And then for the embroidery design, I just, I'll either use the design database transfer from Brother, which is free, or I use the Brilliance and send it. So, Free Spirit, good for you. She finished hand appliquing another Lori Holt Granny's Garden block. Good for you. You win a hero award for the day. Oh, you guys are having a lot of fun here. Where do I get the Embroidery? New to this technology. Jamie's ready to jump in with both feet. Jamie, I have a link below the video for Embroidery, and you need Essentials and Stitch Artist 2 and Thumbnailer. So for less, that whole everything there, that'll cost you less than $600. I got a ton of videos showing you how to use it. And yes, there are always workarounds. Absolutely. Always workarounds. So if you're going to get Embroidery, please be kind. I would appreciate it if you would use my links below the video, or if you've ever gotten an email from me, or if you go on my blog, I've got a link to Embroidery on my blog too. That is how, that's how I buy fabric, pay the bills around here. Yep. Oh, Margie. Well, so here's the deal, Margie says. She bought the 230 a week before the 330 came out, called the dealer and asked about that. They said it was about the same. Now you are crying. Okay, Margie. You only really need, I wouldn't. That 230 is a perfect machine. But here's the thing. I never use the machine to the scan and cut to embroidery machine transfer. I never use that. I always am doing something in the middle, in between where those two are talking. Usually I'm digitizing a design in the software or something like that. So, and Brother is not coming out with a new scan and cut next year. I found out about that from All Brands, that they're not having a new one come out. So if you get a 325 or a 330, you're still, even into the next year, you're still going to buy the top of the line for this year. Used my link to buy the PQ 1500 yesterday on Amazon. It's on sale. That's how I got, thank you so much, Annette. I appreciate that. That is how I got this one right here. It was on this is the Brother PQ 1500, and it was on an Amazon Prime Days. So Deb says she got the 285 when she got her Luminaire. Yeah. So I think that's the SDX 85. Now that is the baby sister of all of the scan and cuts. That one works exactly the same. It cuts and scans the same. The limitations with that machine are it's got a tiny little screen, no big deal. And you cannot use a 24-inch mat on that machine. Otherwise, so what, right? I mean, that machine was tossed in by the dealer when you bought that Luminaire. You got a free scan and cut out of the deal. You know, embrace it and love it. So yeah, that's the only difference with that one, the SDX 85. That one is the $300 one that's on, yeah, you're welcome, Jamie. Kim says, don't use bad thread. I got to tell you guys, you broke your needle thread on your Stellaire using the wrong thread. Oh, I'm sorry. So my traveling repair guy tells me, he said, cheap thread and sticky stabilizer keep him in business. So I don't use cheap thread or sticky back stabilizer if I can help it. Those little bits from the sticky back stabilizer get into the machine. You guys, every time after you use a sticky stabilizer, clean out the belly of your machine. Get in there and clean it. Do it. Yep. Thank you, Barbara. You are so sweet. Yep. I need what? I need an Amazon store just for my sewing t-shirts. So Vicki, here's the thing. Oh, I have the best fashion. I buy my t-shirts off of Facebook ads on Amazon or off of Facebook. Duh. I buy my t-shirts off of ads on Facebook, and it's from a company out of New York. It's Teechi. I'm sure it's a Chinese import place. They will not work with me for influencing or collaboration. So I tend not to promote them. You know, if I'm going to promote all their goodies, I would appreciate like free shirts. But no, I've written to them and they say, no, we don't do that. All right. I mean, I still buy them because they're cute, but I don't buy as many. You bought the 24-inch mat. Ah, Cynthia bought the 24-inch mat when she bought the CM 350 years ago. Have never used it. Okay. So what is she talking about? That CM, that is the original scan and cut. If you have a CM model, that's the old original scan and cut. That's the one. The new ones have an auto depth sensing. They bring the needle over, it goes down, it touches the mat. How deep is the mat? And then it jumps to where it knows there's a piece of fabric because it just scanned it in. And it touches that and it says, okay, I'm working with quilting cottons, and it auto does the blade to trim the fabrics and cut them. The CM models, those are the DX. The CM models, you had to do a test on every one of them. And you manually did the blade depth by turning the blade, the little thing around it. Ooh, we're over an hour, y'all. Don't get me talking about scan and cut. We'll be here for a minute. Yes, Kim, is the sticky stabilizer bad for the multi-needle as well? I don't use it on mine. And if I do, because I'm hooping something that's difficult, I get in there and clean it out right away. Make sure I've got no little bits of sticky paper stuck down in there. Yeah, be careful. Anyway, but as a rule, I don't use it unless I absolutely have to. Yeah, so the mats between the CMs and the DXs are not compatible. You cannot use them the same way. But that CM, if you've got the old CM scan and cut, it will work exactly the same. Other than you having to do a test to make sure you don't cut through your mat. And if you cut through your mat, put some duct tape on the back and keep on trucking. You'll be fine. Put it on the back. Put your duct tape on the back. You said to go to a quilt festival. Where is that big festival, you guys? Jean Truelove went there last year. You guys have a big one. Do they have a machine embroidery items? I don't know. There's a big festival in Pennsylvania, I know, every year, and it's in the fall. It gums up your needles, Janet says. Yep. My Brilliance link did not work a few weeks ago. It better be working. Better be working. You'd be surprised. Okay. So Jackie uses sticky back all the time with no issues. I'm just telling you what my repair dude said. He said cheap thread and sticky back stabilizer keep him in business. So because there's little bits, the needle will push little bits of it down into the guts of the machine. So just clean it out. You probably clean your machine pretty much. Do I use 505 spray to adhere stabilizer, or is it just as bad? No, I use 505 KK2000. They work fine. It's not the same. The problem is not the sticky part. The problem is sticky back stabilizer sticking to your needles and getting pushed down into the guts of the machine. That's the, and it's little tiny fibers. Just keep it clean and you'll be good. Yeah. Okay. Okay, Jamie, you can do that. They make anti-glue needles for sticky stabilizer. Well, now they've thought of everything. That's great. That's awesome. Well, you guys, this has been a lot of fun. Thank you so much. The hour is up. I've got to go, comfort break. And this has been great. Like I said, you guys don't get me talking about scan and cut and embroidery. We'll be here for all day. Oh, good. You've got a Pacific Quilt International Festival this weekend in Santa Clara. That's great. Yeah, if you guys can get to those, please go and see them. All right, y'all. Well, this has been a lot of fun. I hope you enjoy your day. I didn't stitch a thing, but I'm going to go ahead and finish up the bindings on the quilts that I have got. And I love you guys. God bless you all. We will talk to you tomorrow. You guys have a great day. Go sew something. Bye.